something where things are not hard-coded, that it's as the needs change of the business, they are able to add new information of higher value to the people consuming that business intelligence. So how do we get there? The normal process is, again, we work on the IT back-end requirements, understanding what type of business object system, what type of database, what are the current security models, what are the current current IT processes that are used to create content and secure that content today. And match that up with the business user requirements of, what is the look and feel, what is the type of information that needs to be presented, and start to build a plan from there. We'd also then extend out to the customer, the person using this information. How would they like to collaborate with you on the data that you're presenting to them? And then do a build versus buy analysis. So there's many different ways depending on your teams, your IT resources, the business needs in terms of timeline and how quickly they want to get this up, and determine, again, is this which is the best way to deliver on this system. So normally what that looks like is, again, building something. When you're working with business objects, they do not provide an out-of-the-box custom portal. So from a build perspective, something needs to be built. And obviously it needs to be developed securely and integrated in a way that not only meets all the auditing and compliance requirements for external access, but also needs to be reusable so that it's not just a one-off process. Again, customers that have talked to us have mentioned that usually this takes them 3, maybe 4 people, and those systems start again on a 6 to 12 month process to deliver those, and can run quite high in terms of the amounts. Based on our successes with many customers, the buy solution is where what is needed for that portal is available as a abstracted application that's already built that can, again, embed business objects into that application, handles all of the authorization, has really all those capabilities. So the good thing about the market right now, the previous 6 years, people have been building their business intelligence systems and really just getting their processes down about how do we deliver quality information. Well, now, over and again, every day, you're asking, how do I get that information out into the people that can use it to improve my business? And that could be, again, customers, suppliers, anybody within your supply chain. So the benefit of everybody asking the same question at once is, we've been able to build a system that can deliver that as a turnkey solution, because we find that the same reason people buy business objects is it meets the business intelligence needs of the internal user. So by delivering a system that helps extend that, we're able to deliver that at a much lower cost and a much lower time to market. So here's what the solution looks like, both from an architecture standpoint and from a networking standpoint. Most customers are looking at a secure network with multiple firewalls, where previously all your reporting would be done within the network. You might have your SharePoint, you might have your business object system, and all your users access that data within your network. Well, when you're giving information out, you're going to have a lot of control and need a lot of control over giving them just the information out into the field, out into your customers, so they're not going to be accessing your internal systems, but only the reports and dashboards and business intelligence content that you give out. So from a network standpoint, it would normally be within a DMZ or demilitarized zone of the network. There's also some configurations with proxies that give a lot of flexibility on that. From a portal standpoint, again, I would say about half of the solutions we see out there are embedded within an existing portal. The other half are delivering a branded portal, again, out to the users that are accessing this information. But it's not trying to give them every possible report that they could ever ask for. It's giving them a specific set of analysis. So this acts as a secure layer above business objects where they're only getting access to the information they're allowed to see. There's direct, again, portal integration. So if you already have a portal, being able to just embed that is a single connection point between this proxy application and the customer portal. Of course, it leverages all the business object security. So if you're using LDAP, you're using Windows AD, you're using a custom security piece, any of those could be integrated. Obviously, your customers could be accessing this information on any type of desktop, tablet, mobile phone, right? They don't necessarily adhere to your corporate standard. So the system has to be able to adhere and enable that access on any type of device. So again, that's been a key a success point for the companies that are doing this. And then again, multiple export formats. We see a lot of requests now, for things like PowerPoint export out of a Webby report. That's not something you're going to see within your internal InfoView type options, but it's a great example of what's possible through through a launch portal type system. Again, auditing, there are different levels of auditing, and it's been built, there's the business objects auditing, and then there's other content more finely grained that is needed for, again, determining what information has been accessed, especially when you're dealing with dashboards, which are looking at cached information, right? There is no hit to the database, and there's not necessarily even a call to the business object server when you're using a dashboard. So making sure that that information is kept is important for that full view. Again, event notification, really haven't touched on too much on the real-time basis, but alerting those customers when there's new information in the portal. Alerting that customer when their inventory is below a threshold. Those types of full cycle event notification that keep people coming back to that portal. So in conclusion, again, IT-led products, and especially using the business intelligence that you've invested in is really the hottest movement that we see within all different size companies. Again, we see three emerging models: the subscription model, the value add model, and the content distribution model. Key requirements, again, obviously security, both from the presentation layer and the data layer. Self-service, both from the user accessing the information and for the business to deliver new content. And then seamless. Key requirement is that I want a very simple, seamless interface where everything I need is within one browser screen. Again, from a build process versus a buy process, obviously there's a value there in both of time, cost, and risk in terms of using what's already been delivered and is proven really over a 7-year period, and is supported and maintained in a way that you don't have to add additional staff, you don't have to come up on technologies that are beyond your current core capabilities. So, and obviously that's where RJT CompuQuest and LaunchWorks can deliver that value quickly, effectively, and securely.
Excellent, Kevin. Thank you so much for making the time today to go through this with us. Fantastic information. I think we really are in a time where there's significant information out there. There's more need to collaborate than ever. The market is really moving very, very quickly, and this value of reducing the time to market for these types of solutions, we're seeing it as being a significant benefit to our customers. Abhishek, did you want to go ahead and open it up to questions, or are we going to go ahead and wrap it up at this point?
Like you said, Charles, if there are any questions that you'd like to raise as the audience, you know, we're happy to take questions at this time. Well, okay. Thanks a lot, everyone, for attending today's event. And there's a question coming from the chat, Kevin, if you'd like to it's a written question. And on chat is fine, Alan, if you want to. You can ask the question in chat. I'm just awaiting the question. So Alan asks, is there an integration to having users participate in the content?
So this is Kevin. I'll try to answer that, and obviously give feedback if I don't answer it correctly. Yeah, in terms of having users give feedback and interact with the information, we see two different pieces to that. One is within particular dashboards, being able to capture chat type information where people at multiple different locations can put, whether it's thoughts or ask questions about the information. And what we normally see in a multi-tenant scenario is where you've got multiple companies coming in and seeing this information. So as they put in their questions or thoughts, or they're communicating with the owner of the data, that data is secured based on who they are and what company or group, from a business object standpoint, that they belong to. So we see that information there. So from that side, yeah, the integration obviously is that information is stored. You might see that from an Excelsius dashboard with, for instance, the write-back capabilities to allow them to type in comments on the dashboard, write that back. Again, the portals support that. And then that information, of course, in real time using web services can then be presented back through that dashboard. The second type is where they're just putting posts. So you're more putting information about an article. They're asking questions that are again about something about the portal. So that can be as simple as a form that they're putting information in, and then that is distributed via, whether it be email or some other method, again, directly to the person asking the question. So in that case, you would have more of a direct line of communication, and you don't necessarily need to see or present that information back to the screen. So we see both of those types, and obviously, depending on what your needs are, you might want to offer both.
And continuing on that question, thank you, Kevin. And continuing on that question, Alan also asks, is there an integration with social media and blogging, or having the ability to help executives understand